Zvemujolo zvaramba. Ndotoita zvemamba. Zvakaoma man. Right, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Saratanga munoziva kuti utsemura dhiriwora nai. Anzi dhiriwora iro vanogara mudhiriwo, dhiriwora rembanje. Nogara mudhiriwo, dhiriwora iro vanogara mudhiriwo, dhiriwora rembanje. Gara mudhiriwo vakomana vanogara mudhiriwo, dhiriwora rembanje. Vanogara mudhiriwo, musatambe navo vanogara mudhiriwo, dhiriwora rembanje. Gara mudhiriwo, dhiriwora vakomana, dhiriwora rembanje. Vanogara iro dhiriwora iro vanogara mudhiriwo, dhiriwora rembanje. Nogara mudhiriwo, dhiriwora vakomana, dhiriwora rembanje. Vanogara mudhiriwo, vakomana vanogara mudhiriwo, dhiriwora rembanje. Gara mudhiriwo, dhiriwora vakomana. Let me say good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's presentation. Today is 28 May 2025, around 9:06. This is our time when we are beginning to talk about issues in Zimbabwe. Let me put Zimbabwe flag here, so that those who are joining us from other countries would understand what we are talking about. We are talking about this country we call Zimbabwe. Ona vana venyu mai Zimbabwe, ngatibatane Zimbabwe, tirwise mandu Zimbabwe. Kutsvaga pekuti chimbomira chezimbabwe, nyika ichipikirwa, nyika yemadzibaba, nyika yechizvarwa. We are talking about this country you call Zimbabwe. I am going to talk about, let me see here, who is here? No one. Ignatius Maputi, how are you, my brother? Trust Chikove, welcome to tonight's presentation. We are talking about government. I want Zimbabweans to understand. I'm well, Baba, how are you? I want Zimbabweans to understand. Most people don't understand what we call government. They don't understand it. We just stand there and say government, government. I'm particularly pointing to Zanu PF supporters. Those who are in Zanu PF, they don't understand what government is. They don't understand at all. They think government is a political party. This is where we have a problem. We've got people who think are educated, who cannot differentiate between a government and a political party. In Zimbabwe, we've got Zanu PF as a political party. We've got Triple C as a political party. We've got Zanu MDC as a political party. So sometimes when I talk about Triple C, MDC, and Zanu PF, currently I'm talking about the same thing. These political parties, they co-joined, or they joined together to form a government of coalition. What you see, it's a government of national unity, whereby Triple C has agreed to be part of the shenanigans of the Zanu PF. So the current Triple C is something we doubt a lot whether it is opposition or not opposition. But what I'm talking about is Zanu PF is a political party, Triple C is a political party, MDC is a political party. So these political parties, they stand on the same platform when it comes to elections, when it comes to issues of government, when it comes to democracy. So democracy is defined by the participation of all Zimbabweans, including in those political parties and those who are non-aligned to any political party. So I need to talk about government tonight. First of all, there is news circulating on social media, as you have heard, those who have served the social media for current news or current affairs. First of all, you notice the two important things that has been making rounds today. The first one is about Monda, who is the commander for Presidential Guard in Zimbabwe. His office, Monda's office, is in Idzvarasekwa and also in KG6, I think. So there are issues that are making rounds here that Monda, when he got to his office, he found nothing in his office. Everything has been taken away. Obvious, you understand when I say everything in his office has been taken away. What they are trying to do, I've spoken to one of the colonels in Zimbabwe. I'm not going to mention his name here. He confirmed to me that, look, when these people start doing what they are doing, they are suspecting Monda for being someone who wants to topple or who is allowing the removal of Emmerson Mnangagwa by force. So they are trying to remove him or retire him and appoint probably Mnangagwa's son to be head of the Presidential Guard. No one will dispute that. And we have seen it happening before, because Shoni is now probably a major. So what they are doing is they are trying to find Mosha or a crime that Monda will be alleged to have committed, and Monda will be arrested, taken to court, and imprisoned, so that you won't be able to come back to work again. And by that time, whilst he is in prison, they want to force him to retire, or they want to retire him, but they want to pin him down so that he won't raise his head again. Before I start this thing, guys, let me ask those who are privy to Albert Matapo. I am not sure where this gentleman is. I've been looking for him for quite a long time. I can't find him. I need to have an interview with Albert Matapo. So anyone with Mr. Matapo's number or who knows his whereabouts, please can you inbox me so that I can have a talk. We need to interview him. I've got certain information that I need to hear from Albert Matapo. Same manya wanja achimweni aluli kalajetu. So this is what is making rounds about Monda. They want Monda to be locked up. They want Monda to face certain charges of like they want him to face charges. They want Monda to face charges. I'm not sure how they are going to do it, but this is gonna be an uphill task for Emmerson Mnangagwa, because the ZNA or the Presidential Guard, this is an elite force responsible for protecting the president. It is one of 8 brigade-sized formations and 2 district commands in the ZNA. The members of the unit, some of which are from neighboring states such as Angola, provide presidential protection and also perform ceremonial duties in the national capital of Zimbabwe. So the history of Presidential Guard, we all know that the Presidential Guard, it was created, this Presidential Guard you see today, it was created by Robert Mugabe in 1983. I know a lot of people would not understand that. presidential guard was not there during Ian Smith's time, but the current one was created by Robert Mugabe in 1983, following attempts to his life during the election campaign. So in early 2014, Zimbabwe National Army ordered the presidential guard to look for alternative accommodation from Dzivarasekwa in an attempt to reduce the number of army personnel at its barracks and the cost of maintaining these facilities. So presidential guard is like a personal army that belongs to a president. It is not, it is part of ZNA, of course, but its core duties are to protect the president. A lot, as I know by now, out of 23 people here, you have got questions that I can't give an answer. The first question that I can read from your mind is, why then did this presidential guard get compromised and removed? A man who formed the brigade, a man, the pioneer of the brigade, who is Robert Gabriel Mugabe. We still remember when Mugabe, early 83, 84, when Mugabe was going into campaigns and so forth, bombs could be blasted, shots could be fired at his presidential motorcade, and he escaped a lot of attempts in his life. So the presidential guard that you see today is being headed by the gentleman Anonzi Mondaoya. So controversies has always been there in the presidential guard. Remember, Lieutenant Colonel Samson Murombo, who was the commander of one presidential guard battalion, was sidelined from commanding the Defense Forces Day Parade as a result of fallout with the Mai Mnangagwa. You still remember that audio when Mai Mnangagwa was shouting at Murombo, watching took about his balls. You know, we have got a first lad who used to shout at this Lieutenant Colonel Samson Murombo, and so forth. We all remember that. We all remember that. If you can remember that. So in that leaked audio, Auxilia Mnangagwa accused Murombo of spying on her, and tensions between her husband and sections of the military rose during that time. She also challenged him to a physical showdown. You still remember my Mnangagwa Murombo Yando Kumamisa? There's something that because my Mnangagwa challenged this Murombo for a physical showdown, and later broke down pleading for him to spare her life. You all remember when he said, "I'm not the president. If you want to kill, can you kill Emerson Mnangagwa?" This is Mnangagwa's wife. Those are controversies that have risen in the presidential guard. Murombo would later be dismissed from his position. He was removed from his position in January 2020. Murombo, who was the commander of one brigade battalion, he was relieved of his duties in 2020 after this fallout from Auxilia Mnangagwa, who is the president's wife. So there were also reports, ladies and gentlemen, of presidential guards participating in violence that resulted in the 1 August 2018 shooting, where you saw a lot of Zimbabweans being gunned down. An issue that has led to the imprisonment of Martin Shinyanga in Zimbabwe, after Shinyanga went live on Facebook, cried about the presidential guard gunning down innocent civilians in that country, which eventually led to his arrest here in the United Kingdom and prosecuted for standing for those people who were gunned down. And Shinyanga is a martyr, is in prison today because of what transpired during that time. It was 2018 1st August shooting. So this came despite reported presidential orders for military personnel not to be on the streets. You remember, Emerson Mnangagwa himself was not in Zimbabwe during that time. He was probably in Belarus, and he gave orders to say, look, don't let the soldiers into the streets. And later on, Sanyatwe and Kamban, they ignored Mnangagwa. Sanyatwe and General Chwenga ignored Mnangagwa's pleas, and he sent the soldiers to gun down innocent civilians in the streets, which resulted in Sanyatwe being removed as commander, as a leader in the Zimbabwe, in the presidential guard, and was sent to Tanzania as an ambassador after refusing to take orders from Emerson Mnangagwa to stop sending these soldiers into the streets. So it was reported that the president himself did not order military personnel to be on the streets during that period. A year after the shooting, the United States of America, they sanctioned Major General Anselm Namosanyatwa and his wife. They were put on sanctions. And you remember, yesterday I was reading about Sanyatwa being taken off the hook, taken off those sanctions again. A double standard by the United States Department of State. These are double standards. What has Sanyatwe done? Did he resurrected those people who were killed during that time? No. But why would America let this gentleman off the hook? So he has done, he has gone free with murder. So this is what we talk about on daily basis, that the Western countries, particularly America, when it comes to double standards, this is where I see Americans involved in double standards. They removed quite a number of these human rights abusers from sanctions lists, including Anselm Namo Sanyatwe and his wife. So you see a presidential guard during that time as well. I'm talking about controversies in the presidential guard. There was a gentleman known as Private Mugadu. Mugadu fired 30 shots into the air at the presidential residence before being apprehended as he was about to reload his AK assault rifle. This incident resulted in the suspension of Lieutenant Kene Umrombo from his post. Remember that very well in 2020. A member again of the presidential guard was accused of stealing 119 laptops and 3 desktop computers belonging to former President Robert Gabriel Mugabe. The soldier was cleared on the unlawful entry charge and was fined $200 for possessing stolen property. Imagine Mugabe, President Robert Gabriel Mugabe had about 119 laptops which this soldier broke and stole, and he was found with them. He was fined $200 for possession of stolen property. I'm thinking about Robert Gabriel Mugabe, a president of a country with a very big country like Zimbabwe, with 16 million, 20 million Zimbabweans. He had about 119 laptops to himself, which were stolen by one of these soldiers. So in 2017, a group of guardsmen allegedly convinced a gang of armed robbers who broke into a businessman's residence to surrender $91,000 under the guise of Operation Restore Order. And all these guys were from the presidential guard. 3 high-ranking members as well of the presidential guard, as well as ZBC Enga Musoro Gomo Mkosi, allegedly assaulted 15 villagers and forcefully tried to take the Chin gold mine in Mount Darwin. All 4 were later granted a bail of $500 each. Until now, the story hasn't been finalized. So this is all about the presidential guard. If you look at that unit, it wear their yellow berets. I'm wearing mine. This one I can't remember what is it for. in the army, but these ones, they wear yellow berets to tell them, apart from the rest of the Zimbabwe military, they differ. They wear, ndaiwaseka wafana presidential guard mazuva eDRC eCongo vachienda kuCongo, ndichitaura ndikati, hey, maziheti enye yellow aya munenge muri matargets ka, you be a very big target. Wakawanda une ziheti reyellow unongonzi bogom. You, how are you? Albert Chingondo, how are you? Say same Kuma, I'm well. Atete QD, how are you, my CC? So quite a lot of things happening. I used to laugh at them of wachi practice wachienda kuDRC. Vai vane barita zvavo zveyellow zvenchiseka ngati unenge uri bhuru wakambo practice shooting kuti kana ndichitaura bhuru ndorevei right on the center of the target. Iwo ndo unenge uri bhuru nechibharita cheyellow chacho handikupotse kunyanga ndiri 2 kilometers nongotora pazasi pechibharita chacho ndozati inopinda chete nyere inokwana chete. Saka they wear this yellow beret, the mounted element of the unity parade in pit helmet as a headgear. Those are not fake. The flag of the Presidential Guard of Zimbabwe consists of a beige background. It's beige background with the 3 equal horizontal strips of red, green, and red, and the center having a shield which contains a white wreath beneath a bed, over which are 2 brown rifles. Salute rifles in satire. So this is all about the Presidential Guard, ladies and gentlemen. Where does this Presidential Guard come from? This is where this this gentleman who is now Monda, Fidelis Monda, Fidelis Monda, we all know about this gentleman. This has been in news that is circulated throughout the country or on social media, which I haven't yet confirmed this Monda thing. So, boss, there is suspicion that there is reshuffle that needs to be done by Emerson Mnangagwa. He wants to reshuffle his Presidential Guard. Probably this is why Monda has been under attack, or is being attacked. Is being attacked by those who support Zanu PF, or there is something brewing. Something need to happen as soon as now. So I'm not sure what will happen, but Monda up in the tide. So the other issue that I want to talk about tonight is about radios. A radio in a car. Each radio, I think it has to pay $92 a month. Can only motkari in a radio. You need to pay $92 a month as tax, or $92 a year as a radio license. Playing the radio in your business, I know it benefits customers. In your car, it benefits your passengers. When you are alone, you need to entertain yourself with music. Uchitera hanzi zvemujolo zvaramba hanzi mwoyo matovharo. You need that song to play it whilst you are driving, so your customers or your passengers will enjoy having a ride in your car, and your staff at work enjoy. So this issue has just been introduced by Zimbabwe government. This is what we call stealing. A government that is stealing from people. I wish Zimbabweans must resist the imposition of such laws by a government. That is why I put this topic to say government. What is a government? People need to understand what is a government. They cannot just wake up and say, look, we are putting radio licenses on each and every vehicle. When you pay for road tax on your car, or when you pay tax on your car, a clever government would have included what they want as a radio license on your tax, so that when you pay, they would know that you have come to pay a radio tax. On that tax, they have got $92 that will go to the radio station, or they want to sponsor ZBC. I don't know what they want to do with it. It's typically a government that doesn't listen to its people, because having a radio in your car, it's every preference, every person's preference, ranging from national, regional, local internet radios and everything. You'll be listening to it, enjoying the taste in the music, in your radio, in your comfort. So this, I understand where the government is coming from and where the government is going to. Because if you look at some of the cars in Zimbabwe, they don't even have a radio. Ukatoikwira sonoti motikari anenge aita akachinja gear rinenge chisimka chitombobvawo gear racho iroro achiridzosera foot. So paying a license is arranged by the government, or is proposed by the government, uku kunenge kwakubatira chi kwakungobatira vanhu, because zvinombofamba sei. How does it work? How does it work? I don't understand about these tariffs. About these tariffs you call radio licenses. Kuti kumba unenge une radio, you need to pay a radio license. Mumotikari une radio, you need to pay a radio license. Pamwe office kwako kune radio, you need to pay radio licenses. I'm not sure how this government is proposing that. Kuti iwewe kana une radio kumba kubasa nemumotikari mako unobhadhara malicense mangani, because you are the only person aruterera. Kana usiko kumba radio inenge yakavharwa, kana uri kumba radio inenge iri on. I don't know, is it tax for every gadget or tax for you kuti uri kuteerera radio Zimbabwe? Handizwa kuti zvinombofamba sei. Vane zivo imbotibatsirai, because kuti uvhure radio unzwe zvimwe zvimajingles zvinenge chichironzi rambai makashinga, rambai takapesera isusu tangotenga maDSTV, tichateerere radio, tichateerere ZBC. And majingles acho aiswa ipapo, they prompted us to buy our own DSTVs and start listening to South African stuff, not Zimbabwean stuff. So I don't know what is happening in Zanu PF, ladies and gentlemen, because all this comes from what we went through in 2023. We have got an incompetent government that we have in place, which was not even elected by people. As you understand, you heard that Mukomana won that election, which Mnangagwa refused to acknowledge that he had lost the election. So you can still see the tremors this government is in today, that it did not win any election. This is why you see they are panicking, making all these laws to punish you Zimbabweans, because what they are doing is just punishing Zimbabweans to say, look, you did not vote for us, we rigged this election, and we don't care what you say. They don't care what people say. They don't care, because people must choose the government that they want. They must choose the people that they want to be led with. That is not given. That opportunity is not given to Zimbabweans. They are not given chance to choose people who will govern them, who will form a government, who will lead that government. Zimbabweans are not given that opportunity. This is where we are. If you look at the Trabablas roundabout, that roundabout should have been challenged the amount of money invested in that roundabout by the government to get that rubbish, what we see, it doesn't tally. But it's because we did not choose the people who will form a government and the people that will lead that government. We did not choose them. They rigged the election. This is why they impose such mediocre structures as an interchange. What we see is an ISO. What you saw people saying this is an interchange, that is an ISO. It's a disaster just waiting to happen. If we have rains in Zimbabwe, that one is like a dam. They had to mold a mound of soil to mold it into a dam wall and they put a road on top. Vakambogara kumapurazi handimboziva zvimadhamu zvatinogadzirirwa nemapurazi zvinenge zvakamaundwa nevhu zvezve pamusoro poita karodhi kanofamba. This is what we saw. Hapana kana pila iriripo chimabridge zvakangoiswa kungocrossa road 1 2 3. I think 3 bridges that were just put there, but it was supposed to be pillars all the way right round, so that unenge muchiona kunyangwe nepasi kana mvura ikanaya hapaite dam. So that is an ISO. That interchange is an ISO. It's a result of a government that was not elected by people. It's a result of people in power not have been elected by people or chosen by people to lead the people. So this is where I said, let's talk about government. I know a lot of people don't understand this topic, that in Zimbabwe, once you turn 18 years old and above, you can participate in the selection process of choosing who will give the power or who will be given the power to rule. Once you turn 18 and above in Zimbabwe, you can participate. We have got a lot of 18-year-olds who are not even registered to vote. They can't do anything in our country. The country is suffering. The country is being bled whilst they are sitting watching. Very busy. They've got no future. They've got no life. This is why my heart bleeds for a country like Zimbabwe. Wasted human resources. If you come to the UK, but in Zimbabwe, they are doing nothing. You go there, you see them. Vakamira makona, mnana rizende meme, vakarembera, akaita kustika so munhu, kustika, ne glue kustika, ne tumbwa, kustika ne drugs. In a country that has got a government. So this is why I chose today. Let's talk about government. What is it? Because once you turn 18 and above, you have got right to participate in the process of choosing who you want to form a government and who you want to lead that government. So ndosaka ndakati ngatitaure nezvegovernment. And because that person we choose, he will be responsible for setting down down the rules with the consent of those who should be involved. Anogara pasi nevanhu vanoronga navo, vanhu vamakapa mandate. Chiri kudiwa apa is just mandate from the people. Kuti tikabvumirana kuti uyu ndiye watiri kuda uyu kuti arane our life, afome hurumende, atungamirire hurumende, ndiye munhu watasarudza. Tobvumirana semaZimbabweans. I know we cannot agree pamunhu one because vamwe vanhu vanotarisa zvakawanda. If you look back, pataka tine MDC alliance, when we went into an election, within MDC alliance we had elements who did not want Chamisa to be president of a country, but they were members of the opposition part. This is what surprises a lot. That in the opposition, in MDC, in the senior ranks, we had people who did not want Chamisa to lead. So when we went for election, they decampaigned Nelson Chamisa and campaigned for Emerson Mnangagwa. Vakazobuda votaura vana Munzora na Douglas Munzora na komisho akuti we were plotting against that young man. Mumakata was spying against that young man all along. We never thought a chairman of the party who was the president's election agent, could turn into a spy, spying against his own candidate. Imagine, he was paid monies to be an election agent for president, but he was spying on that president. He was spying on that candidate. And the whole country was basing on him. Who will stand for us. So in 2018 elections or 2018 elections, some people in MDC alliance, they denied the Zimbabweans chance to choose a person they wanted to form a government, a person they wanted to lead the government. We were denied also by Zanu PF, violence, a lot of factors. We all know that denied Chamisa to be president of a country. Above all, we had elements in our own camp. Unozaruka bigatika chatoda batipa isupu yemasamba, but masamba acho hatimadi. Saka taine magufs akada zvimasamba izvozvo zvinofana kubviswa, but takazvisiya zviripo tasvina supu. Saka the problem yatinayo ndeyekuti even within ourselves as the opposition, we had people who did not like Chamisa to be president. And kwaja praise I want and kwaja praise and shiki zvangu. I don't hate him, but because tikada kutarisa nyaya ja praiser haana option in Zimbabwe. Even if you were on Ja Praiser's position, there are things that you cannot say no. Makaona Thomas Tafrenyika mapfumo mukanya vachiti no. It's because he's in a safe country. Where he lives, no one can reach him. He's well protected. But when a Ja Praiser, very exposed. Ukuthi kana akaramba anenge akutopinda shinyazi kunzi wakarambirei. Saka I don't blame him. I don't blame him because haana option. Dari munhu anoda kutiza kuti atize azoita ma options aka kunze kwenyika zvinoita, but as long as he is still domiciled in Zimbabwe, he has got no option. Saka so let's talk about government, ladies and gentlemen. What is it? I know we have got people in Zanu PF who don't understand what government is. Tinaona wakatoenda kuzvikoro ma-engineer akada sana William Ponela wewe. He doesn't understand what government is. Tine ma-ministers vari kutungamirira vari kunzi ma-ministers vachaappointwa na-president naMnangagwa vasingazive kuti chinonzi government chii. Tozoya ma-youth militias eZanu vasinga-understand chinonzi government chii. Tozouya vedu vanhu vari ku-opposition who do not understand what a government is. So I've taken this opportunity or this lead tonight. I wish you guys tag any minister you know. Tag anyone you know. Tag him or her here. So that they understand what a government is. Because if you read dictionaries and dictionaries, I still remember when I was in school, through primary. Taioneka muka dictionary kataishandisa so. Taita ngo uchaita dictionary analysis. Uchibuda marute so uchirara uchiverenga dictionary kuti I wish I can talk my words, or when I speak English, let me use the words in the dictionary. Takatanga kudzidza ma heavy words akaita sana flabbergasted, anani wewe. Taitanga kumadzidza imomo ana scandangarious. Scandangarious. Taivena uma words akadaro ataitsvaga uma dictionary ekuti taura even kunyorera vasikana tsamba. Ndakambotaurira mumwe musikana wangu ndikati iwe chimbonipa tsamba dzandakambokunyorera timbona, or just copy one of them imboisa apa nimboverenga ndondainyora kuti chi. She's still there, we still talk. my first girlfriend. Tiri kuchikoro tiri vasikana tiri vakomana ndaimunyorera tsamba every aidzidza chikoro chiri kumaruzeva. Things that we talk about. What is government? What is a government? When we talk about a government is the agency and the instrument that is formed by the people and for the people. Ndoda kuti Zanu PF kana pane vanhu vaZanu varipo torai manotes. Get my notes right now as I speak, because what I'm speaking is a well-researched. I've got notes that I've put down here to talk about government. And my notes are, and rutaura nezve government panapa. Saka I've researched these notes for the people to take down notes. Kana musinga understand the government, especially varumi ministers edu emuZimbabwe vane nungo dzekuverenga vaiva ngawabate panapa kuti ne agents and the instrument. This is an agent or an instrument or the instrument that is formed by the people. This is what we call a government. And it is formed for the people. Right? It is the board of people and institutions that make and enforce laws of society. But definition ndaifarira inini yekuti government is the board of people. If we talk of government, it is the board of people, and that board of people and institutions as well that make and enforce laws for society. Right? The mandate of the government is to serve the interests and welfare of the people. When we talk about my radio license, is a radio license, une radio kumba, radio motor, radio kubas. Is it the interests of you being served by the government with chibadara tax, motkar, radio yako iri motkar inoda tax, radio yako iri kumba inoda tax, radio yako iri kubasa inoda tax? Is this government serving the interests of the people? Is this government looking at the welfare of the people? No panenyaya. The government is the mandate we give the people we choose to lead the government is to serve the interests and welfare of the people of a country. In this case, to serve the welfare and interests of Zimbabweans. Is the Zanu PF government serving your interests? Is Mnangagwa serving your welfare? Is he looking into the welfare of Zimbabweans? Because if he rigged the election and he said, I have been elected and chosen by people to represent them, is he what he is doing now? Is he serving the interests of the people? Is he serving the interests of the nation? This is where the question comes in, because we are saying a leader of government. Enoch Bata, and what about the joke? Could he have been a president since they said they don't salute someone that didn't go to war? Because the joke is not the people. Atete Petronella, I'm talking about a government. So if people of Zimbabwe decide that Chamisa must be the president of a country, then the majority will win. I will talk about elections. The majority will win. If the majority wins, the joke, if they don't want to salute him, that's fine. But the majority is saluting the person that they elected. So agents that protect the rights and property of the people of Zimbabwe is what we call a government. Are we protected? Are our rights protected in Zimbabwe? And anymore? Because authority urumende is comprehensive. Authority urumende. Membership does not apply, but one automatically subject to its authority. You cannot choose to be a member of a society or a government, no. But membership is you automatically become a member of the government because you have participated in its selection, and automatically the authority of the government is exercised over you by agreeing or allowing that. And the rules ziripo binding to all organizations. My rules they bind to all organizations. Sanction is imprisonment or death. Unfortunately, luckily, Zimbabwe has got no death sentence anymore. But that is a sanction inopuwa nehurumende. Ukatadzira hurumende ukanzusa hurumende ikati usaba yokaba straight unoenda kujail. These are basic duties of a government. Looking into that, they ensure domestic peace and order. No my duties a hurumende. Hurumende must ensure domestic peace and order. Maintenance of an effective police force. Not police force ya muri kuona yekuti munhu akanzi motikari yake haina mutero, mupurisa anomhanya kunopwanya windscreen yemotikari nekuti iri kunzi haina mutero. Driver wemotikari is making a U-turn kutiza mupurisa to show that ndapara mhosva, he respect the law. He is running away. Arozanda imhosva yandiri kuita, ndiri kutiza kuti mapurisa vasandisunga. Unoona mupurisa achitora zimbhadha rakadai so remboma unorowa achipwanya windscreen emota. Is that necessary? Because the duties of the government is to make sure we have got that police force, an effective police force that maintains law and order in a country, or that ensure domestic peace. If you go to Zimbabwe, on daily basis. On daily basis. You think, hey, do we have an effective police force to stop all this? Is this the government that we chose that is failing to protect us? But we are paying taxes to the government so that the government can pay these police officers not to abuse us, not to do corruption, not to destroy our property, but to protect us. But they must ensure peace in a country. They must ensure that the country is good order. That is not happening in our country. Because our country is not conducting, they must conduct, they must see, or they must conduct of rescue and relief operation during the calamities. They must conduct. Tikadaptarisa what happened in Chimaniman. Government yedu failed to conduct a rescue operation and provide a relief operation to those people affected by that landslide, which buried thousands and thousands of people. Not even bodies were recovered. And in the morning, kutakashaya even masnifa doge kusnifa makadavers kuti vanhu vaburitswa vanhu vakaparara nisha yakaparara. Until now people can't explain where these people went. The duties of a government as well is to establish the defense of the state and the preservation of independence, like the military alliance. Is that what we see in Zimbabwe? Because establish the defense of a state. We have got soldiers that should be defending us, but we have got soldiers that are sent to kill us. They are not protecting us. They are not defending Zimbabweans. But they go into the streets, CBD, Harare, start gunning down innocent civilians. So is it the duty of the government? Because they are not protecting us, but they are gunning us down. They are killing us. The duty of a government is to establish my diplomatic ties with other countries. But because of personal corruption and dealings, the president will travel there. We have got one president in Africa, Magufuli. His term ended. No, his term did not end. He died during the midst of his term. He has never traveled anywhere to go and sit with another president and talk about Tanzania. Today, they've managed to complete one of the longest bridges in Africa with their local resources. They never got a loan to build that bridge. Ujanzwa trabablas mabunu yaya ichinzi yakadya 100 million US dollars. Mari yacho chiri chikwereti chakanotorwa Belarus. Tanzania has built one of the largest bridges without any loan from any country. And on. Saka tiri kutaura tichiti hurumende kana iri hurumende yevanhu, it must promote physical, it must promote social and economic well-being of its people. That is not happening in our country. They must oversee implementation of the social legislation such as land reform program. As I'm speaking today, along Mutare Road in Arua, we have got thousands of families who were settled there, during the land reform program. They built houses and so forth. Today, those houses have been destroyed and those people evicted. Vari muroad kutaura kwatiriita nevana vasikuenda kuchikoro, vana vari kutambura. So the social well-being of the country is not looked into by Zanu PF government. They are not promoting the physical well-being of the people. They are not promoting the economic well-being of the people of Zimbabwe. No implementation of this social legislation. No implementation. Instead, they are destroying what they did. Settled those people. Now they are removing them. They were talking about destroying 15,600 houses in Epworth. Because the election is gone. So they don't care where those people will go. 16,500 shanty houses will be destroyed in Epworth. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is very important that we know what is government and we know its duties. Because people are crying there. President, we are because they don't know the duties of a government. You are the government. They should have resisted even destruction of those houses. So for us to be aware of everything that is happening in our country, we must know the duties of a government. If we don't know the duties of a government, we won't be able to know what is happening in our country. A lot of Zimbabweans don't care to know about what is happening in their country. They only care when they are affected. Zanu PF must go to save Zimbabwe. We have always stated it. Since 2000, we have been chanting this slogan, to save Zimbabwe, Zanu PF must go. Because we wanted to save the country. We did not want to save our interests. We wanted people to have a government that they control, because it's you guys who elect a government. And anymore, different forms of government. Kana vanhu musingazive these forms of government, munorohwa nedictatorship yakada seiri muZimbabwe musingazive. Izvezvi ukatasa president weZimbabwe is a bit confused. Ndosaka maona inzi ane vascular dementia uri akurwara. As to the number of persons exercising the sovereignty of the power, tine first form of government inonzi monarch. That means we say yo. I'm going to talk about 3 or 4 types of forms of government so that you understand them. Mochiona kuti Zimbabwe iri papi yakamira papi. Because Zimbabwe is a democratic what? No. You must understand. Some people talk about this democratic government, but they don't know what this democratic government is. So we have got what we call a monarch. Monarch is ruled by one person. Usually called the monarch. It may be a king, it may be a queen. For a good example, Tayonema emperors, Tayona Tsar, wakaita history, you know, the Tsar, or the Tsarina government, even Russia, Matsar. That was a monarch. Vakaita history, in the history, Dara and Chazodi Goririm, the history, I think, 1991, history. From 1990-91, even history. I read a lot about the monarch Russia. I did the Russian history. You did that in the Tsar. tidzidziswa chicommunist nevanhu vezanu. Saka this is another form of government inotongwa nemunhu one. It's either inotongwa naqueen kana inotongwa naking nyika. Monarch uyu anenge ane absolute power. Anenge ane absolute power. Ndiye anenge ari chief executive wenyika. Ndiye anenge achigadzira mitemo, legislator wenyika. Could be even the judge at the same time. Vanonzi mamonarch aya. Zvaiitika kunana Russia nana Tsar. Because Tsar had absolute power. He had total powers, Tsar. Russia. Vakaita history, vanoziva Tsar wandiri kutaura iyi. Andiri maona. Tsar, ukaenda kuFrance ukwana ainzi king anuya. Come on guys. Ndakukanganwa. WekuFrance ainzi king ani. France. King Louis. King Louis. King Louis 16. I can't remember. King Louis 14, 16. Someone, I look France. He was a monarch. That guy who France is King Louis. He was the chief executive of that country. He was the judge at the same time of that country. He was a legislator of that country. Akaintroduce chimwe chanzi chigulotini so France chakapedza maFrench. Aiti ukagara ukachibairirwa so chikabva uchinokwa kuti dimbura musoro. Vanhu vakapera kudimburwa musoro muFrance na King Louis 16. I think King Louis 16 here wekuFrance uya. Ukaenda kuSaudi Arabia, I think it's one of the country at the moment which has got a monarch again. Ukaenda kuJordan kana kuKuwait, nyika dziri 3 idzodzo dzofana kuve dzine monarch. I stand to be corrected here, but I believe Kuwait, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Swaziland down in Southern Africa, inotongwa nemonarch. I stand to be corrected. Handizoti kuSwaziland kune government there. Saka kune ma different kinds of monarch. Yekuuna Swaziland here, I think it's constitutional monarch. YekuSwaziland here. Because oyawo kune ma direct monarch anga akaita se ukaenda kuSwitzerland vane that type of monarch iyoyo. In a direct democracy. Inoitwa democracy but iri monarch. People directly take part in the decision making process of that government yekuSwitzerland. Ndosaka wachiona kana kuSwitzerland kuninzi hakubvumirwe kuita mhosva, kuita hondo. Switzerland hakubvumirwe kuita hondo. Inyika iri protected iyoyo yeSwitzerland yayo. Andiri maona. Saka totaura futi major airport grounds or flights as massive thunderstorm causes travel chaos. Amending kupi inofana kweri UK. Saka tinema different types of governments akomana. Second type of government yadachitaura kubva apa monarch tine democracy. Right. But democracy by democracy simply it's a Greek word. Demos means people. Kratos means rule. It's a people's rule. When we talk about democracy, don't talk about Zimbabwe. There is no people's rule in Zimbabwe. But I didn't know Judge Mega. Romeo, Zirise, Urboy Monoma. And Mazano, Max and Apezawan. Zagawanda, it's because we don't have a government. So people talk about democracy. They don't know what democracy is. It's a rule of the people. Demos means people. Kratos means the rule. It's a rule of the people. Vanhu ndo vari kutonga. Ukaenda kunana Zimbabwe, we are supposed to be a democratic country. Because oyawo kune inonzi representative or republican democracy. People elect their representative that who will exercise the sovereign power of the state. A good example when unana America nana Germany. Saka tobva ipapo tuenda kune inonzi unitary government. Unitary government is centralization of government powers in the national government. The authority of the national government is supreme over local governments. Saka unitary government ndiye kuti inotonga zvayataura ndizvozvo. That's their final words. Saka ine ma advantages nema disadvantages yainawo. there are uniformity of legislation and administration of government. There is efficiency and effectiveness of the execution of national policies. There is less expense in the operation of government. There is enhancement of national unity, respect to religion, language, and cultures. No, you need to nana unitary government. Because oya, you want the federal government. Federal government, you gotta sing in America, it's a federal government. In a home advantages, ayo, nema disadvantages, ayo a federal government. Because oya presidential akawanda my forms of government amunogona kusangana nawo as you go panyika. I'm not going to visit all the notes that I did, but I was looking at the basic duties of a government. My basic duties of a government is providing free elementary education. That's the basic unit of the basic duties of a government. Zimbabwe by now, ingada free elementary education, primary education, ingada yari mahara, secondary education, ingada yari mahara. Kumberu kunozoenda ku low cost yechi yema tertiary education. Kuti wapedza secondary education, wakuenda ku tertiary education, wakupuwa ma grants nehurumende. You don't burden parents. Ndozvinoita nyika inoda kudevelopa vanhu vayo. If you come to UK kuno no policy yavanayo iyoyo yekuti free primary education, free secondary education, work university, get a loan, pay for your degree, repay that loan later. Something that we want. These functions are undertaken to advance the general interests of society, the general interest of the people of Zimbabwe, and the voluntary optional of government. My interests of hurumende, they are also promoted. Hurumende kana yakazoti hayi ndoda kuti wapedza chikoro ndishandire, unongoziva kuti yes, I'm working to repay my loan. So government plays a big role in the economy, plays a big role in the well-being of the people of Zimbabwe. Those who are not private individuals or corporations, government plays a big role. So, business government plays a big role. Kwete hurumende kuti inongomuka ichitaura kuti maakubhadhara TV license. Maakubhadhara TV license. Unobva wafunga zvakaita kunge kwaya kuUnited Kingdom kuno kune inonzi welfare state approach inoitwa kuno. Anachitaura yekuti kana usingashande unoiswa pabenefit system. Uchinzi enda unoripota kujob center kuti uri kutsvaga basa asi unenge uri pabenefit system. Iyoyo inoitwa muno munyika iyoyo inonzi welfare state approach. Zimbabwe, a very good example. If we look at Zimbabwe, we've got a good example. Mbana Chivayo, I think just 42 years old, is a billionaire in our country. Ukada kubvunza how we made these billions, probably through government, government connections. Achipuwa ma tenders, most of those guys are Vanama companies. Ma tenderpreneurs. Unongo for ma companies na desk ogara mu office momo, ufonera minister. Kana ufonera ku prison kuti muda kusupply wachi ndipe itenda. Iwa una kana mari. Obva wati patenda yamuru ndipe munobvisa 5 million in advance. Mari 5 million otopinda usati watanga kusupply anything to the prison. Paunozotanga umhanya utsvaka beans, utsvaka makumbe mombe kuti asei unotenga nemari yawo yavakupa wodzoka unovatengesera futi wotokupa profit pamusoro waane mari yabva kuprison. Ndo zvinonzi matenderpreneurship zvatimuri kuona zviri kuitika muZimbabwe. Kunzi zesa inonzi iri kuda kuita gwanda solar system. Yonzi yo zesa ngaibhadhare 20,000 yekutanga, 20 million yekutanga. Munhu wamuri kupa mari haana kana capital yekutanga business. Matomba capital ndimi vezesa akutoenda kuDubai kunotsvaga zvimapanels odzoka nazvo kwachikira obva ati chindipai yakasara. Tenderpreneurship. This is how things are happening muZimbabwe. Saka izvo zvinoratidza kuti we have got a state or a government that lacks establishing of basic rules for economic order. Atina hurumende yakadaro. They can't act to eliminate abuses by private individuals or corporations. They can't. Emerson Mnangagwa is the one who is at the helm of all the corruption. Anenge achikudza kuti munhu handimuziva ndaphilanthropy work yake, but pamunoona motakedhi yenyika chivhayo kanenge karipo kachitenderera kachizvongonyoka kachifamba ipapo, president achiona ndiye chivhayo wacho. Kana aenda pamedia patv andarara munhu iye handimuzivi. Asi munhu iye handimuzivi. But mari is supposed to provide social security to its to Zimbabwe citizens. It's being abused. And unoona munhu achitengerwa Toyota, munozama Toyota yaya, one inoita 99, second hand in UK, it's 99,000 pounds or 100,000 pounds, second hand, ma Toyota yaya. Munhu ari kuipiwa iyoyo obvapo 150,000 cash pamusoro. Right, it's fair and fine. Imari yangu, it's his money. It's not our money. Because he has won a tender and he got that money after government awarded him a tender. Saka kana ya maoko ake chivhayo, it's his money, it's not our money. Ndopa tinofana ku understand ipapo. Mari kana it's our money kana iri ku government. But kana ya badara ma services emunhu, whether that person did the services or not, provided the services or not, but he has paid the money. The money is his money now. It's no longer our money. It's his money because the government has paid him as tenders for whatever he did or he did not do. But the government has paid him. To him, it's his money. It's not our money. Because this is the money that is supposed to go for social security of Zimbabweans. But the government is not channeling that money into the social security of its people. It's not even compensating those who went to war. It's not even compensating those who were shot by the army. It's not even compensating those who are working. Masoja ari kuenda kubasa, mapurisa ari kuenda kubasa, magarjera ari kuenda kubasa. Havasi kuora enough money. Because this money that is meant for their salaries has been paid to an individual, a private individual or an individual for the services he did to the state or not. No one is there to look at whether the services have been provided or not. The monies are just channeled to someone else. And that is his money. Kunyangwe ndirini ndikabata paper rino iri, ndikati ndine paper iri ndiri kuritengesa. But the paper iri kuita 50 pounds. Iwewe ukandipa 50 pounds ndisanda kupa paper racho risati rauya. Ndenge ndakuzofana kukupa paper. Ndikafela kukupa paper iro, but mari wakatondibhadhara kudhara yatove mari yangu. Ndakutoitora ndakuishandisa something. Ukandifonera ndokuudza kuti paper rako riri kuuya. Yes, talk of Gwanda solar project. Iri kungotaurwa nezvayo. It's almost 10 years now. Ichaitwa, but the monies have already been paid to an individual. Yakatozhiwa mari yacho yakatopera. You see what we mean? So we have got a government that is supposed to provide social security to its citizens, but it's failing to do that. Then it becomes corruption. We cannot blame an individual. We can blame Chivayo, but we are not supposed to blame him. Because apana pano ndakabata futi office ma minister kundikuda tender apana. The minister is satisfied that this guy is capable of providing this tender. Give him the tender. Tender apana. So how many tenders failed to materialize? But the money still goes to the individual. It's not the individual's fault. It's the government's fault. Andimona. Ipapapo tikapabata tikapanzwisisa unenge wanzwisisa kuti chii chinonzi government. Because we have got a lot of companies that needs financial assistance who are supposed to be assisted by that money. We have got unemployed people who are supposed to benefit. The unemployment benefit, social employment, social what in Zimbabwe. Tine chembere dzachembera dzichakwanisa kumira kana kufamba adzifanirwi kufa nenzara. Dzofanirwa kupuwa mari iyoyo ichibva kusocial zvaitwa zvesocial what kudhara zvayo zviriko vanhu vachinohora mari. Andirimaona mari dzacho ndidzodzi dzinenge dzichiuya muhomwe dzema-individuals. Dzichiuya muhomwe yema-individuals. Saka tikutaura the obligations of a government. What is the government is supposed to do? Vanhu vazhinji havazvinzwisise. But turned out kune imimi vanhu vacho varotadza kunzwisisa imimi. You've got your duties as well. Ukatarisa ukaenda kunana UK kunoku. Kunoita maduties ekunzi jury. Kune inonzi jury munomu yekuti chinotongwa iwo panenge pane ordinary people vanenge vachiteerera kuti wakapara mhosva kana hauna. You are supposed to go and vote as well. Iwewe citizen wenyika, go and vote. Choose the government of your choice. But you guys, you don't want to go and vote. MaZimbabweans, handizvi kuti muri vanhu vakaita sei. Ukaenda kana mumatown chemu unoona town ichiora. Uchiye masweji achierera. Vanhu vachifamba vachita every day. Munhu anenge ajamba sweji. Vamwe vachiwira, wabva unotenga kachingwa kawira musweji wonhonga, wopukuta matuzvai wakunopa vana chikafu. Tinofanira kuti tiorganizana mumatown, masmall towns, mabig towns imomo tichita matown meetings, meetings chaiwo, residents munoita meetings. Kudhara, I still remember kudhara mukaro imemwe. Maiti mukangotanga kuitika chinhu chemahambanga vanhu vaiungana soita meeting. Vapedza meeting vanhu votusumudza maplacards vomacha vachitokuenda kutop office. Kwainzi kutop office. Vachienda kumaofisi ekanzuru kunodemonstrata kuti masweji ari kuputika musi kugadzira chii chiri kunetsa. Rendi tiri kubhadhara. But road hatisi kugadzirwa chii chiri kunetsa. Zvaiitwa kudhara after vanhu vaita meetings. It's your right as citizens of a country. That is not happening in Zimbabwe. Ukapinda muHarare munenge mune matutu nematutu emarara. Asi aramboona vanhu vachidemonstrata kuenda kukanzuru kunonetsana mafume kuti why marara asiri kutakura. We are paying taxes. We are paying rent. Every month panenge pane bhiri remvura riri kuuya, bhiri remba, bhiri rechi uchibhadhara. But marara acho akati haasi kutakurwa. Uri kubhadhara marara asi kutakurwa. Parendi yako panenge pane mari yekutakura marara. But haasi kutakurwa. What are you paying? Why are you paying? What are you paying? Why are you paying? You understand? Kudhara kwaive nemapurisa zvekunzi munhu anorohwa hanzi paonekwa munhu akarohwa pausiku, paonekwa munhu akapondwa pausiku. Zvasingaitiki kudhara zvezvo. Because kwaive ainzi vaitavati chiko vanhu vaive kudhara vainzi chiko vanoshanda nemapurisa vaive vaifamba mavolunteers aishanda kupolisi vaitopuhwa uniform yepolisi vaitooperata usiku. Hakuna munhu wainzwa kuti anzi arohwapo munhu asina kubatwa. Ezvo zvinonzwa kuti munhu akapondwa paseri pemba yako. Ndakarwadziwa guys, ndakarwadziwa ndichiudzwa unzi mufesi wedu wataifamba naye namudhara tsvangirai Spencer Ndemere was murdered. Ndakarwadziwa. He was buried last Friday. Munhu akapondwa. Vana 29 ndira vakatorwa kunopondwa munyika yekuti munhu afanirwa kupondwa. Andiri muri kuona. Tanyanya kuita obey malaws enyika ari illegal. Illegitimate laws. Mnangagwa is not a legitimate leader. Is illegitimate. Whatever he is saying with Badara Mtero radio remote arambai mimi mani. Ikadaiso kutaura kunoku ya yowe so muHarare yowe yekutaura kuti suzo Badara. Andiri mona. Because your demonstrations will stop the government doing nonsense. Because if you elected those people to serve your interests, then they must listen to you. You cannot come in the morning and say $92 radio remote car. Indakatenga motikari iyoyo ndichibhadhara road tax. Ndichibhadhara tax. Tax iyoyo must cover that radio remote car. So on top of that, mauda ndibhadharisa imwe more money. That is stealing. And MaZimbabweans must rise up and stop that to happen. Because that will be the success of democracy. If you are saying Zimbabwe is a democratic country, that will be success of democracy. It shows that you are upholding the constitution. You have got rights. By campaigning, by demonstrating, you are upholding the constitution of the country. You must uphold the constitution of the country. It's your duty to demonstrate. It's your duty to demonstrate. If you don't demonstrate, you are letting the constitution down. The constitution requires you to stand up and speak when wrong things are done by the government. You are allowed to demonstrate. You have got that power. Don't ask me why Don't ask me when to demonstrate and how to demonstrate. You all know. You Zimbabweans. You must come up with this. Because the politics dzenyu dzamuruta muZimbabwe kana dziri democratic policy, dziri democracy chaidzo imimi zivai pekumira, zivai what to go against. You must know what to go against. You must not be drawn in the power struggles of politicians. You must stand as the people of Zimbabwe. Triple C yakabvutwa makatarisa party yatakashandira. Not even one akasimudza musoro to demonstrate. Dai makaita noise handifo kuti Mnangagwa was going to bvuta that political party. Oro aronzani uyo chinonzani chishavamwe was going to bvuta that political party. But it's because we don't know our rights. We don't know why we are there. We don't know that we are citizens of a country. We don't know that the government must be accountable to us. We don't know that. If we don't know what the government is, then taparara. Tinenge taparara saizvo zvamuri kuona. Kuti nyika yasvika pakuparara Zimbabwe. Kusvika pakuparara kuti ukatonzi ndakatonzwa Henry Olonga aitaura kuti munolonga Zimbabwe. Akatonyimwa nepassport yekuita muZimbabwe. Henry Olonga. Amene ndichambonozamawo inini kuti pamwe ndowana passport here to be Zimbabwe. Zvakaitwa Olonga ndo zvandakaitwa. Ndiri kuZimbabwe ndiri mugadhijeri. Ndakanzi you must denounce citizenship of Malawi. I was not born in Malawi. I was born in Zimbabwe. But I had to renounce citizenship of Malawi citizenship to become a Zimbabwean. Right now, ndakuda passport. Pamwe vachandinyima kunzi unotaurisa. You are making Zimbabweans awake. Sleepy Zimbabweans awake. Because if you listen to what I talk on daily basis, you guys must understand my intention. I'm just waking you up. Magarara. Magavata. Andimona. Mukai ma Zimbabweans. Mukai. Kwete kuvata. Bozi ukatasa vanhu veZimbabwe mavatira vakaita anotondirwadza. Ukasangana nemuZimbabwe kana achifamba anenge achitoridza honono uchatomutsa kuti muka mani muka iwe mani usi kuona here kuti uri kudzvanyirirwa muka. Because ukada kuona people who do not understand why we need elections in a country. The only society that I've interacted with, guys, ndakaya ku UK and I'm 15 years. I've interacted with the different people from Somalia. I've got friends from Somalia, friends from Sudan, friends from Kenya, friends from Tanzania, friends from DRC. I've got friends from everywhere. Angola, I've got a nice friend from Angola. I'll let you know. I will try to convince him to come one day. Could I wave live on Facebook? If you talk to all these nationalities, they will tell you that Zimbabweans do not know why elections are done. So, in other words, you are saying, we do not know why we need elections or why elections are done. As Zimbabweans, we don't know why we need elections. Because during an election, when we are doing elections, all Zimbabweans, I want you to understand, all of you, 20,000, 20 million Zimbabweans cannot sit together every single day and take all the decisions. You can't do that. We cannot sit down to say muZimbabwean wese ngatisangane kuHarare 320 million tosangana muHarare togara pasi toita madecisions tobva apo tabvumirana decision yetu kuti ndeyakati tosimuka todzokera kudzimba dzedu. That can't happen. This is why we need elections. Zimbabweans don't understand that it's not possible in any large community to come together. Let's say Trimo Harare, we are talking of community. Gata say Mfakose, Mfombe. totaura vanhu vese vemufombi vese sanganai kuna tsuro, mugara pasi motaura, mopa decision modzokera kumba. That is not possible. And not possible to have time and knowledge to the decision on all matters. Hakuna muZimbabwean wese tese 20 million kuti tingave ne time ne knowledge ye decision inoda kuitwa. We can't. So I am saying things that why we need elections. Can representatives selected on the basis of age and experience? No, zvimwe zvanaka ndichazoda kuzotaura nezvazvo mumwe musi muzondifungisa. I want to bring this topic. I want you Zimbabweans understand. Kuti, with all what we have seen in the last 45 years, in the opposition, in the ruling part, what we have seen in the last 45 years, can we select our candidates for parliamentary, local government, or president, or whatever? Can we select these people on the basis of age? Because I know president, of course, it's 45 years and above, or 40 years and above. Once you turn 40 years, you qualify to stand as a president in our country. That is understood. But does that person have experience? No, pamurikuona patiuraya munyika yedu yeZimbabwe. Tikutora munhu ane 70 years like Mnangagwa, tomuelect as president. We look kuti Mnangagwa anofanirwa kuva ane experience, but hakuna college inotraina mapresident. Hakuna. There is no way Mnangagwa can have experience of being a president. At least Mnangagwa anga ari close kuna Mugabe. Aiwonawo zvaitadzwa nezvaigonekwa nawa Mugabe. We expected him to be better. I think even in Zanu PF, when they put Mnangagwa as president, they expected him to be better than Mugabe. And his rule has proved otherwise. So there is nothing we call experience in being a president. And there is nothing we must call age. Ukada kutasa Zimbabwe yatukutaura nezvayo. Yakaenda ku DRC ku Congo in 1998 to help fight when Kabila was killed. His 29-year-old son became president of DRC. Zimbabwe went there to fight for a 29-year-old man to become president. In our country, they will say that 29-year-old is a toddler. And we want someone 40 years and above. And when Chamisa turned 4 to stand as president, they were saying he's a toddler. They want someone 78 years and above. But we forget that we were in Congo fighting for Kabila Jose, who was just 29 years old. So that in Monfungisa next time. Could can representatives selected on the basis of age and experience, considering what we have seen for the last 45 years with Emerson Mnangagwa, with Robert Mugabe, with Bishop Abe Otendekai Mzorewa, with Ndabaningi Stole, with Joshua Kabukonkomo, with Edgar Tekere, with Kenan Banana, with Ian Smith. What we have seen in these leaders, can we say we need representatives on the basis of age? Or can we say we need representatives on the basis of experience? This is my next topic. We need to explore that topic and see, can we say Chamisa mwana mdika akwanise kutonga Zimbabwe? Tichitarisa kuti vakuru vakatonga nyika yeZimbabwe, what did they do to it? Vakatarisa here the welfare of the people. Vakatarisa here the well-being of the people. Vakatarisa here the well-being of the country in general. What we are supposed to be getting from the state. Or what is the role of the government, the duties of the government that I've stated earlier on. So we must look into that. It must be a topic. Let me put it down. Topic iyoyo. I'm going to write it in my notes. With the next topic, we will talk about is, next topic is, right? Can representatives selected on the basis of age and experience. Can we do that? Age and experience. That is our next topic. What I'm talking about you guys. You don't know that we need elections. You don't know why we need those elections. And because for my elections, my elections, Tane government, I've spoken about government. Tane hurumende yamasarudza emimi yevanhu ma-representatives amunoda imimi avapo. What are their duties? This is because they can choose who will make laws for them. Why we need elections is we need to choose who will make laws for us. Tavene ma-representatives va form a government, and that government, it must be accountable to us because we have chosen them. We have elected them to make laws for us. Ndosaka uri kuona tikutaura kuti mutemo kunzi munhu wese ngaabhadhare TV license or radio license iri mumotikari. Hausi mutemo unokuseva vanhu, hausi mutemo. Because hurumende iripo, it was never elected by the people. So if they make the laws for us, then we are bound to demonstrate. Because these laws are not made by the people we elected, but the people who imposed themselves. So why do we need elections? It's because we want to choose representatives who make laws for us. So you guys need to understand that. Because once the government is there, or we can choose who will form the government. We have chosen who will form the government. We have elected who will form the government and take major decision. It's a major decision to say, look, each and every car with a radio must pay $92 a month as tax. How many cars do we have in our country? If you have got 10 cars, you need to fork out $920. Imagine those with the 500 buses, zine radio. How much do they need to fork out for 10 buses, 100 buses, 1,000 buses? And in more. Saka munonga uchiona kuti vanhu vatakasarudza to make laws for us, are these the right people? Because implementing that decision to say a car must, if you own a car, you must pay radio license. That is a major decision. That will rob billions every month or every year. Billions will go there to a radio license. Uchiterera rambai makashinga wakashinga weramba unotorwadziwa kuterera radio yacho. Ndosaka mona taipesera tatenga edu musicians akaita mbiri panguva yarambai makashinga yana Jonathan Moyo. Vamwe musicians atasingazive ndopa wakabuda tikatanga kuvaziva. Vana Madam Mombeshora, I love you. Tatakunongoridza idzodzo kuti uterere ZBC unongonzwa tamba oga since morning kusvika ridoke kunochiridzwa tamba oga. Hanzi Afro Parks what zvaitwa nana Jonathan mukuita ngevana vadiki kutitora like fools. We were treated like fools. The whole nation treated like fools. We couldn't even go to ZBC and demonstrate. That ZBC was sponsored or was financed by our taxes. We should have gone to ZBC to tell them, get this off our air. We don't want this. Tunakuzoma programs enyika. 2 minutes rambai maka, 2 minutes rambai maka. What was that? You understand? So this is why people are laughing at us. You go to Africa, we are a laughing stock of the whole of Africa. People in Africa, they say we don't understand why we need elections. Because Tukuitwa yese tinongonyarara takatarisa kana tichiti zvichapera zvichapera hazvipere izvi ndisi tinozvipedza handiti mona. So we can choose the party whose policies will guide the government and lawmaking. This is the purpose of elections. Zimbabweans don't understand that. When you go for a political party to choose or to vote for, you look at the manifesto of that party. I'm shocked. Yesterday I asked one, do we have Zanu PF supporters in Zimbabwe? If we do, probably lack. Zanu PF 2023, Mnangagwa failed to produce a manifesto for that party. And the people, there was other people who went to vote for him. I don't know what they were voting for. Because we don't know the need for election. We don't know it. That showed me that Zimbabweans do not understand or they don't know the need for elections. You can see a Zanu PF supporter voting Emerson Mnangagwa without a manifesto. To say, look, I'm going to vote Mnangagwa. What for? He doesn't have a manifesto. He doesn't have policies that he's telling you. He doesn't have them. But those policies must guide us to choose which part to choose to form government and which law. Which part to choose to form government and lawmaking. Which part? Look at the UK. Go to America. Donald Trump, when he went there, he was campaigning, telling people what he's going to do for America. The Labour Party did the same in the UK. What they were going to do for UK, they had a manifesto. But in Zimbabwe, they have Zanu PF supporters there. Because they seem like they don't know. Kana mchisarudza party. You don't choose party because uchazoda corruption, uchazoda kupuwa mota. You choose party because that government which is going to be formed is going to make laws. Choose a person and my policies are sound. A good kana achinga winner will make laws. Will make sweet. You make your life sweet. Laws must not make your life difficult. Laws must open ways for you to enjoy life in a country. As I'm speaking, every Zimbabwean are uchema. Whether you voted Zanu, whether you voted opposition or what, you marriage at every corner. And it's because we don't understand the need for elections. Because the need for elections is we need to choose a party whose policies will guide the government in lawmaking so that our lives become easy. Ezo zvimakunzi bhadhara ukatenga motikari uchabhadhara tax. Patax ipapo radio iri included but hauzvizivi. Pamusoro pazvo waunziwo because hauzivi waunzi chibhadhara tax yeradio iri pamotikari. And all. Because you have got a wrong person who formed the government and who's making these laws. Simple. Because we don't understand. We don't understand all this, ladies and gentlemen. Because when we go for an election, ndo pamwe pandozoputika hangu nekuseka. Imbotarisai elections atakaita. We had elections in 1980. Elections in 1985. Elections in 1990. Elections in 1995. Elections in 2000. Elections in 2002. Elections in 2005. Elections in 2008. Elections in 2013. Elections in 2018. 10 elections. Elections in 2023. 11 elections Satakaita Zimbabwe since 1980. If you in indakamaona SMA elections, I'm very fortunate. There are very unfortunate Zimbabweans today who never saw all these 11 elections. I saw all of them. So if we look back, were these elections democratic? I've said democracy means, demo means people, kratos means what? Don't forget. Government of the people. Democracy means a government of the people. Saka, if we look at that, that is Susu, everyone should be able to choose. When we call democracy, government by the people, everyone, Zimbabwe. But remember I said, if you turn 18 and above, you need to participate in the elections, in the choosing of these leaders. So, for an election to be democratic, everyone should be able to choose. You should. The word important here is you should be able to choose. Right? This means that everyone should have one vote. And every vote should be equal in value. Vote ya Mnangagwa is equal to the vote ya munhu ari kufudza mombe kubinga. Mbate ipapo should be equal to vote ya mwana tena 18 nhasi ari kuvota. Because each and every vote should be equal. This is what we call a democratic election. There should be something to choose from when we go into an election. Understand this. Parties and candidates should be free to contest an election. We just came out of 2023 elections where people were attacked, cars burnt, homesteads destroyed, people beaten. Some were killed. But they were not given opportunity to choose. They were not accorded this freedom to choose. And it more. So the elections that I am talking about, 2023, all the elections that I've seen, they were never free and fair. And we cannot call them democratic elections in our country. This is why we have become a laughing stock. Because we have never held democratic elections for the last 11 elections that were held in our country. They are a shame election. They were in shambles until now. Probably I might not include all of them. Let me exclude 2008 elections. Not the runoff, but the election in 2008. That one was democratic. Mundregerera, I apologize to you. Out of 11 elections, only one held in Zimbabwe in 2008. It was democratic. And the Mugabe lost. He wanted to say, guys, I've lost. And he started violence, attacking people. So, the 2000 election, yes, it offered some choice to the voters. Voters had choice to choose between Tsvangirai and Emerson. Sorry, Tsvangirai and Mugabe. Nana Simba Makoni. So this choice, when you are choosing, the choice should be offered at regular intervals. The candidate preferred by the people should get elected. From there, from 2008 to 2023, we had, especially 2018 and 2023, Chamisa was the preferred candidate. And the people were not given opportunity to vote for Chamisa. Chamisa Wacho was even not allowed to campaign in Zimbabwe. Every time he moved from one place to another, his motorcade would be destroyed, roads barricaded. He never had a chance in these two elections to campaign. So people were not given opportunity to choose a preferred leader. So people of Zimbabwe do not understand the reason why we need elections. Elections should be conducted in a free and fair manner where people can choose as they really wish. I've never seen, I only saw this in 2019. But 2008, taiti kuchibuda polling booth, waita saroko rwako, waiudza vanhu vanenge vari paqueue, but waingosimudza roko rwako vote 1 2 3 4 5 of what? Cremola is on top. Cremola is on top. No slogan ataive nayo kuHarare East. Uchibuda polling booth, waivhota iso roko rwako vhota izirauri Cremola is on top. Kungoudza vanhu kuti zanja reMDC ndo riri pamusoro, unongoisa X yako pamusoro wapedza. No slogan ataipanana. Cremola is on top. Those are Taita 2003. People were given opportunities in 2008 to vote for candidates of their choice, to vote preferred candidates. Peter Gora really say, and he said, Mkoma Shepherd do that, hapana kwatiri kuenda. No way, easy. Better kunoona Ketina na Nia. Ketina na Nia because Zimbabwe zvaramba. Next topic iriko when andidi kujambwa nayo. We might have next topic tomorrow. Adidi mona. Can representatives selected on basis of age and experience? That is our next topic. Saka tikutaura tichitaura political competition, people of Zimbabweans atizivi. Unoziva kuti politics dzofana kunakidza. Ukauya kuUK unotapirirwa nepolitics. Dzinakidze politics. Politics dzikasanakidza zvavharana. Because ukana politics dzisinganakidze musina imimi Zanu PF chigure kwa chichi. Mwana politics dzisinganakidze. Andiri mwana. Zino create a disunit in society. Zino create a total functionalism ma political parties in every locality. You have seen it. MDC alliance. MDC chaiyo original MDC ya 1999. Takakuona kuti mapinda makonye. Makapinda makonye. Akatanga kudya MDC mukati. Zanu PF ichivakandira zvakaora vachidya vachiboora MDC kusvika MDC yapera. Mudhara Tsvangirai chai founder member of MDC faced a lot of resistance kubva kumakonye. MDC maive nehonye dzaivemo dzakaita kuti MDC iore. Zhinji dzacho ndo vana Obert Gutu ava vaive kuMDC vari maspokesperson ava. Aive makonye akanga ari muMDC. Vakazobuda pachena kuti mazanu letra takazodza kuti ndonzi comrade Gutu ndakarwa hondo. Tavana mudhara mudzingwa ganda vakarwa hondo. Vana vaimboona vachitengesa. Ana mudhara ganda havana kumbotengesa. Andimona takazoita makonye vatengesi. Tave nehonye dzaive muMDC. Kusvika MDC paitaurwa neZanu unzi hai wow. Ndo pati isingafi yakatonga nyika. Tairamba because we were genuine, we wanted change. Ordinary Zimbabweans were genuine, they wanted change. But I thought that the people who rushed to grab positions in the party were maggots. And they were working hand in hand with Zanu PF. This is why Zanu PF was so confident that I am yakatonga nyika. MDC yakasvika pakuparara. Kusvika pakuparara. Tisina kuita any impact in life. Takapinda mugovernment of national unity after vana Yuda taita zvatakaita. Nyika tikapinda mugovernment of national unity. That brought nothing. Ukataura about government of national unity vanhu vari kuZimbabwe, mapurisa nemasoja nemagadheri vakawana tumari tokutenga mastenzi nedzimba nemotikari mugovernment of national unity. Pazvakapera zvakabva zvangofofowera ipapo. Vanhu vakatanga futi kutengesa. Andimona. Ndosaka munyona pa ndichiti kana ndakutanga ma-presentations are important like this. Norova dhiri hora vakomana. Dhiri hora rembanje vanogara mudhiriwo vakomana vanogara mudhiriwo dhiri hora rembanje. Imika mukoma chichi. Mukona ndaroveka kwako ndakuda toitoi chaiyo. andimona ndopa tairova masongs matairova matoito inana tondira indira vaya tichirova kuti chihure sandishungurudze usandishungurudze ukatishungurudza tokushungurudza tokushungurudza bodhagezi waitishungurudza waitishungurudza mwari ndokuzura anoshungurudza tikaimbira hunzvi kati wanyihunzvi aitishungurudza mwari ndokudzura vanoshungurudza imi takaimbira pati takashandira MDC hataiziva kuti MDC mune makonya ari kudya ari mukati pati ane maburi yakazonzi nana Sevius Kasukwere zvikanzi wawo iyi pati inobvinza because vaive muzanu macho vakanga vasishade zanu they had hopes kuti MDC ikapinda at least isusu tambozorora tombotongawo nevamwe vatombonaona vanotongawo sei but mukati macho mune vaitoshandira zanu yacho iyoyo kusvika pati yaita maburi kanzwa vanhu vari muzanu PF vakubvuma vana Kasukwere onzi aiwa iyi pati inobvinza hanzi inobvinza tata kunzi pati inobvinza ndopa takaona kuti hakutina kwatiri kuenda handiti maona saka tiri kutaura isusu kuti panofanira kuita political competition kana tichitaura political competition teita kutaura unoziva takaita vamwe vanhu vakaita maleaders eMDC mafounder members vakabva vafunga kuti political party is their personal property vamwe vacho they wanted to be life members of parliament kuti kana waelectwa kupinda muparliament hauchadi kubuda muparliament apa pakafomwa MDC matukiro ataita Mugabe kuti mudhara izvi hachisi kuda kusiya upresident chodaita life president. Imagine vanhu vaituka kudaro vacho they were aiming to be life members of parliament. They wanted to be in parliament for life. Imi vanhu tikutuka Mugabe kuti you are life president, tikuisa MP about a life member of parliament foot hatina kwatiri kuenda. Saka people of Zimbabwe do not understand why we need elections. This is where we are, guys. And izvozvo zvakabva zvacreata a sense of disunity in MDC. Mungabva matanga mafunctionalism, functional parties. Mungabuda MDC makabuda mapati akawanda. Makabuda MDC 1999. Yanga iri Job Scala. Ya Job Scala haina kubuda, but it was the MDC ya 1999. Scala akataura akati, can we go back to the founding principles of this party? And he became an enemy. Kune vamwe vanhu vaifunga kuti Tsvangirai akapinda tichadya naTsvangirai. Job Scala became an enemy. Pakabuda MDC ya Welshman Ncube. Hapana asingazive ma-reasons why pakabuda MDC yegreen yai. Ma-reasons anga ari senatorial elections. Ema-senators. The way they were demarcated ma-constituencies acho. Kuna ana Harare uku taingopukutwa neZanu. Because most of ma-constituencies aive influential, ataikwanisa kuwina or atakawina safely as MDC. Akanga aitwa conjoined ari 334 neZanu. Ande vachobatanidza nemarura wakawaziva kuti uzimbabara mapfungwe pamwe inobatanzwa nemufakosera. Mbero vakazviita sei? And we saw kuti hakuna kwatiri kuenda. Isusu ndisi takaramba tikaudza Tsvangirai kuti Tsvangirai kana muchida support yedu mudhara izvi zvekupinda masenatorial elections akadaiso hatidi. But vamwe vedu vakanga honye dzakanga dzatoruka kudhara chinhu chadzo kuziva kuti senator wangu ndiani. Ndo pakatanga kuwanikwa kuti MDC mune hama neshamwari. Shamwari dzichipushirana kuti yo uchapinda pakati, uchadya pakati. It was no longer our political party. It was a political party for individuals. Kuti kana mandidaiso ndotakura party yangu noenda nayo. Tsvangirai kusvika asara asina party. Tsvangirai akasara asina party akadzingwa. Tototenda vanatenda ibita, vana honorable bit. Ndo vakazotomira namudhara Tsvangirai. I remember Tendai tichenda naTendai kumba kwa mudhara Tsvangirai. Tsvangirai vachibvunza Susan zveshuwa tendai chika explain kuti mudhara atomira naye and zveshuwa tenda biti akamira namudhara. But munongoziva kuti to err as human, as we go on, Tendai ended up making my errors as well. To err as human. But kuti pazomira chinhu chainzi MDCT, it was Tendai biti. Ipapo ndompa credit yake. Akamira biti uyayo. Chinhu chikamira chainzi MDCT, it was because of Tendai biti. To err as human. Zvakazoitika hazvo, but to err as human. Saka you see kuti political competition yatinaro mune advantages nema-advantages. Ukatarisa different political parties and leaders often level allegations against one another. Ndozvatakaona zvakuitika. There were allegations and allegations against one another. The party splitting into splinters, some which never made it. Like PDP never made it. MDC, Ngwe or Green never made it. It was just a waste of time. Waste of dividing the votes to the advantage of Zanu PF. Zanu mnenge mune masquabbles arimo, but they crushed them. If we were formulated in a manner Zanu PF is formulated, we were gonna crush yana Ngwe. Kutiwe ne one MDC. Takazopesa tana na MDC Tokozani. Wana Tokozani mbuya Tokozani waida kuita president. Unoziva kuti mudhara Tsvangirai ndo pandakaona how genius Tsvangirai was. The way he handled MDC squabbles or functionalism, or the way he handled MDC business. Tsvangirai made it simple that every Tom and Jerry thought can be president of a party. Vana Mdzuri vakapesera kuda uma president. Vana Komichi vakapesera kuda uma president. It's because of leadership yamudhara Tsvangirai. Aishandisa yainzela isazifu leadership. Yamudhara Tsvangirai yakaita kuti vanhu vafunge kuti neniwo I can be president. At one time I thought I can be president as well. At one time. Kuti zvikuti vana Mogeni zvaindozviita. Zvakafanana indonamata kumasowe. Ukaenda pamasoweka ukaona especially baba vedu ndo ataura stereki. Baba andinyare naye murume anonzi baba Zonda uya. Anonzi Zonda. Andinyare naye ndotaura bhozi ndakaona zvinanara zvakaita mukurarama. Zonda ukamona ari mugwanza akarohwa nemipiri yemudzimu nera Mwari vachitaura maari. Wakagara uko kana uri mupostori unofunga kuti zvakapusa izvi ndozviitawo. But idzi dzangonika dziri kutaura asiri munhu. Saka iwewo kana uchizviita kumbira ngoni dziuye utaure nengoni. Saka zvinoita kunge zviri simple kana pazvinenge zvichiitika. Mashavu mbiri antandai mudzimu nemashavu achitandwa achibuda. Saka zvinoita kunge zviri simple. Ndozvaita mudhara Tsvangirai chaizvo. Aiti kana utaura aita kunge munhu ari possessed dzine mbiri yemudzimu noero. Kana ataura apedza chakuimba Tsvangirai chichitamba so chidhara chedu chaje. Vanhu vaibva vafunga kuti zviri simple. Mbiri yaTsvangirai ndo yandoda. Andimona. Mbiri yechigandanga ndo mbiri yedu manje. Mbiri yechigandanga mbiri. Saka mbiri yaTsvangirai mwaibva ifunga kuti izi ndogona ngoita mbiri yoye. Vazhinji vakaparara vasina kumbofa vakambosvika level raMorgan Tsvangirai. Tsvangirai paidaro ari president weMDC. Uyu wamunoti mfana uyu wamunofunga kuti mwana mudiki nenyaya yekuti hakure uyu. Uyu wamunoti Nelson Chamisa. You think kuti mwana mudiki, vanhu vazhinji vafunga kuti mwana mudiki ka. Because anogeza, anozvibata zvakanaka. Ane mukadzi anomusonera nekumuainira hembe nekumuwachira. Nekumufidha zvakanaka. Hapo jangi, haana zvidumbu. Saka people vafunga kuti mwana mudiki nenyaya yekuti is good looking. No, akura. Atokura murume uyo. Akanga ari president weYouth. Zvandozwa chinzanzi is riding on the popularity of Tsvangirai. That is not it. Nelson Chamisa created his brand, He created his Nelson Chamisa brand. He was the president of youth. Changrari president MDC. MDC youth president Wayangari Nelson Chamisa. I think for women, I can't remember very well. I think my Mativenga was the president for women. Tichifamba na mai guti. Taona mamai wataifamba na kunana Harare Iswenza na mai guti. Vaitaura stere kwati kwenda ku meeting na president wedu. That's what he blazi ndakuri say John. Bishop kwakanaka mwana wamai. Zvirufamba. Saka kuwakadzi vave na president wa Women's League had its own president. Youth had its own president. Main wing had its own president. When main wing angari Morgan Tsvangirai. When youth angari Nelson Chamisa. Ku women I think wakuna mai Matibenga. I can't remember very well. Bozi wakadzizwa. Dai Angela ari mpenyu. Dai mvunza kuti akakuti ndiani paya angari mai venyu paya. You understand what I mean? But I kutaura kwanoita chengetai ma videos for your benefit to understand the politics dzemuZimbabwe. Saka uri kuona kuti pakangotanga chete ma-party members or ma-leaders to level allegations against one another, the MDC started integrating. We went into MDC it disintegrated. We went into MDC Alliance, MDC Alliance was a combined force or an integration of splinters that had splintered before. When they came together, the project failed to work. MDC Alliance. Then we went into CCC. We made the same error. The same error we made with MDC is the same error we made with the CCC. Because the splinter groups, they remained intact. But I just returned CCC. I still remember kuno ku UK kuno takaenda kuno isa structure MDC Alliance. As it stands, I am currently the chief security officer with CCC in UK. Ndoshamisika hangu ndichinzwa mwana warikuenda kumakoto vachinorepresenta vanhu vachiti ndiwe security MDC CCC. Handizvo ndakabviswa nani. Handisati ndaudzwa unzi wewe takakubvisa. Handizvo ndiani akandibvisa. But my issues security CCC mu UK they are handled neni. Saka you see kuti ma splinter groups they remained in CCC vakabata kuti ava ndeve power ava ndeve papa. PDP yakaramba yakabata pa PDP payo. Ndosaka uri kuona kana pakanzi Makona aitwe meya vakaramba kuti Jacob Mafume ngaite meya yakanga ya PDP yatenda ibiti. Saka izvozvo zvakaramba zvirimo. That's an error that we made. I hope kuti patakuenda apa I've been persuading President Nelson Chamisa. I'm one of the people who is heavily involved in persuading President Chamisa to come back into politics. Because since Chamisa left, those who claimed those who claimed or wanted to be presidents, they failed. Vakatanga kupopota, vakati anga chakupera ega. Party yacho haina structure, party yacho haina chi. For the last 2 years when Chamisa was absent, no structure was put for CCC and nothing there to show for CCC. Saka, I am one of the people who is at the helm right now persuading Nelson Chamisa to come back into politics. In the last 2 years, we saw no one coming up for our support to be president of the party. Akuna kana. If it means we are reclaiming CCC, let's reclaim CCC. Mira nimbopfeka yeti andaipfeka nchikambira. Nimbobvisa bere. Ndopfeka yeti andakapfeka andaipfeka nchikambena during CCC. Regai ndibvise bere. Ndobvisa bere. Right. Nimbopfeka inoi ndipese presentation yangu ndakapfeka yeti andaipfeka during campaigns. And Ndati Nina, I'm one of the people who is still involved in trying to persuade Nelson Chamisa to change his mind. Could Tashaya opposition leader, Tashaya. Opposition is vacuum. It's a vacuum. Opposition space is a vacuum, but no element is in there. Saga, we are telling President, oh, what's wrong? You want to go? Okay, I'm coming to open for you.
Use the toilet and come back.
You need toilet. So why did you close this door like this, boy?
I didn't close it.
You don't have his strength. Sorry guys, my favorite son. Ndandipeke heti anaipfeka ndichikambenera triple C. Ndodati mubate zvandotaura. Mwari chavakagona kundipa wisdom. Vakandinyima mari. God gave me wisdom, but did not give me money. I'm not sure. Wise people don't make money. But Mari, zinoitwa nemadofo. Trido 1, Trido 2, Trido 3, Trido 4, and it more. Saka, what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, ndezvekuti takatanga in our political parties kutanga kuita leveling allegations against one another. I am still making those allegations to other former leaders or the leaders. These are part. I was part of the problem otherwise. Because in allegiance to Mdara Changirai and shifted my allegiance to Nelson Chamisa. Because there are certain things that I've set down and considered why I must support Nelson Chamisa. There are certain things that I set down and considered why I must support Mdara Changirai. So, I was a Changirai confidant. I was a Changirai die-hard fan. And shifted, soon after we lost Changirai, I shifted to Nelson Chamisa. And became a die-hard fan of Chamisa. And it more. Saka my allegations are panaba. To some people, they are not true. Kune party yakanzi PDP yakafoma yaida kuuraya MDC ikaenda yakaflafa. Kune MDC ncuwe yakafoma yaida kuparadza MDC yaTsvangirai ikaflafa. Kune MDCT yakafoma naThokozani Kupe yaida kuparadza Tsvangirai zvikaflafa. So some people, these are unsubstantiated allegations, but I'm giving you evidence. Kutukaenda pa ballot paper, unaona pane MDC Thokozani. Unaona pane MDC Tsvangirai or MDC Alliance. Unaona pane MDC Wolfman. Torai ma ballot papers anokuradza izvo. There is evidence, clear evidence of what I'm saying here, what I'm stating here. So, ukata some parties and candidates, they often use dirty tricks to win elections. You have noticed it in Zanu PF. People do not understand why we need elections. Zanu PF people themselves, they don't understand why Zimbabwe needs elections. If you see the dirty tricks that they do to win elections, unotonyara, stuffing ballot papers, attacking my election agents of another political party, blocking roads, not allowing other parties to garner support. A lot of dirty tricks used, cars being burned on just to win election. So to Zanu PF, people in Zanu PF itself, despite it being the longest party or the oldest party in our country, those people don't understand why Zimbabwe needs elections. If they understood that, then they would stop dirty tricks. They would stop killings, abductions. They would stop destruction of property. They will stop manipulation of election to allow a winner to take charge. But they don't. So some people say that this pressure to win electoral fights does not allow sensible long-term policies to be formulated. That's true. Some good people who may wish to save the country do not enter this arena. It's because of dirty politics that happen in Zanu PF. Unoziva kuti dai Zanu PF, muzanu PF mune democracy chaichayo. Tanga tisina problem nekujoina Zanu. We had no problem in joining Zanu PF. Because when you go to Zanu PF, I'm a very good person. I'll go and transform Zanu PF into a political party that won't do dirty tricks to win elections. But it's because of some people who are in Zanu PF who block those who would want to save their country. This is why you see we form our own political parties to try and wrestle and install democracy. There was nothing wrong by joining Zanu PF. But if we look at the history of Zanu PF now, they killed my Mdara Mwandarika, they killed my friend Tondra Indira, they killed my sister, they killed my second wife. I'm talking about things that impacted on me. I'm not talking about what impacted on other people. They killed people in Matebeleland that impacted the whole region. People don't like Zanu PF. People don't like to join Zanu PF. So some good people like me, who may wish to save their country, do not enter the Zanu PF arena. Because I know what is there. I've seen the bad part of Zanu PF. So you won't join it. No matter what. I'm surprised to see wanawakada sana Gabriel Chaiva wachita join Zanu PF. Wanawakada sana Obed Kutu wachita join Zanu PF. Wanawakada sana Chonzani Cheukwekwe Jeje Chebundo wachita join wala simbikira wachi join Zanu PF. Considering all what Zanu PF did, no good person can join Zanu PF. I want to be honest. The history of Zanu PF does not allow honest people or good people to join it. So you cannot enter into politics in Zanu PF. You need to go into opposition so that you fight the Zanu PF system and install democracy in our country. And in more. So we advantages. I said politics has got many advantages and disadvantages. The politics that we play. So if we form our own opposition political parties, if we allow democracy to happen in the opposition, because once you are in opposition, let's do things that we want done at national level. Tikatanga kuriga ndakambotaura anzani kompana achazvida anonzani mazwana hasundi ndamukanganwa man Edgar Rukuni I've forgotten the same man. Edi aida kuita aida chairman we MDC Alliance mu UK. Lo wataenda kuma elections MDC Alliance ku Leeds. Pakanoiswa executive yaivepo. Tasvika kuya baba. Pakauya mbuya Kumalo from Harare. Pakauya ndakanganwa musenator wakauya so for those elections. Pakati kwa mashenani ganze ekuti Edgar akabvapo aora moyo. Kana guys inini haazve politics andichadi. Ndakamutora ndakagara naye pasi ndikamudzidzisa something. Ndikati uri kuona takamira panapa vana Shepherd Yuda. Ndakanga ndiri organizing secretary weHarare East District kuHarare. Ndiri organizing secretary inini. Takaita my elections ekuti choose a member of parliament for Harare East. Taive 4 candidates. Ndokana ndakamudzidzisa nyaya iyoyo. Ndikati taive na Eddie Montelo, I think he's in London now. Akaita mukaradi so ainzi Eddie Montelo. Taive na David Samdzim, the late Ndarauya. Taive na Tendai Biti, taive na Timothy Mbao. Takaenda kuma elections ku Borodale ekuti takunochuza a final candidate who will represent the party MDC. Kwakaitwa mashenanigans akangoitwa kuLeeds ndakamuudza ndikati it's not you only aitirwa zvinhu zvakaitwa ndakatarisa zvekuti I reflected kuti tine democracy here MDC. Kusvika dai ndanga ndisina kuramba inini maresults akaburitswa ipapo ndakamaramba ndikati no, because ndakaona the way things were done. And pakauya Harare province to hold that elections vanga vasina kutiudza kuti vari kuuya kuzoita mashenanigans. Isaifunga kuti it's a clear election that will image with a winner. Mbau akawina election iyoyo, but yakatambwa chikarabwino zvikanzi biti ndiye awina. Tikavati recount vakaramba, pakaitika noise vanhu vakatiza. Tikazodaidzwa navatsvangirai kuuya inini ndina ndiri paforefront kuramba. Taive tinana Peter Mudavanhu, taive tinana Stuart Mtizwa, Ndaramaposa vari chairman, vana Fisher Murambatsvina vaivepa, vana Alec Chirikure, vana Maiguta, vana ainzaniko uyu bruru wangu uyu mwanga akanyarara stereki aidriver motikari yedu yekuprovince, vana Ivan Chidhakwa vaivepo. Takaenda kumeeting napresident takagara pasi. I was the first person to raise my objections. Taura kuti you don't impose a candidate. Tine candidate yakawina inodiwa nevanhu yatakakambena nayo tikaenda kuelection ikawina, saka ndo candidate yatiri kuda. But pakazoitwa chikarabwino chakazopinza Tendai Biti kuti aite MP for Harare East. Saka we accepted that because time yanga yapera, tataura to move forward. Tika accepta tikafamba naTendai, and Tendai did not disappoint. He did not disappoint Biti. He went straight in there. What he promised us in front of Mdara Changirai, he did that. And we went there with the full resources, motikari tavenadzo, everything. So that is not number. Takatana azvo naTendai. Apana patisina kukava. Mama rally zacho rarisikachata organize. Anga kuto organize izvo tuna rally pakati. Tichitoenda ikoko supporting Biti. Usiku nesikati kusvikaita MP for Harare East. Anditi maona. Saka ndiri kutaura nchiti the system works better in the long run. In an ideal world, all political leaders know what is good for the people and are motivated only by desire to save them. When Tendai Biti came in as a member of parliament for Harare East, definitely he had this desire to save the people of Zimbabwe. And maybe no pakazobva idea yake kuti zviri nani ndite president. Because when he went to as a member of parliament to Harare East for Harare East, Tendai did not work for the constituents. Ukaenda constituents nasi unobvunzwa chii chakaitwa na member of parliament, hapana. Because most of the things Tendai was focusing on national things which were crucial for the survival of the country and the survival of the party. Tendai Biti focused a lot on national issues, not on constituents issue. Probably ndo zvakazompa kuzofunga kuti hazviri nani zvangu ndite president weparty yangu. Because popularity yaMdara Tsvangirai Tsvangirai yaita kunge kuita president weparty kuri so easy and the PDP fluffed. Adimon. So political leaders all over the world, like all other professionals, are motivated by desire to advance their political careers. This is what motivated Biti, like what I've said. He was standing for national level, at national levels, achipinda committees, debating a lot, knowing much as a lawyer. Akanga atone this political desire to advance his political career. Probably ndo zvakazoita form his own political party. Achisiya MDC Tsvangirai. But ipap. So they may wish to save the people as well. But it is risky to depend entirely on their sense of duty. That is what destroyed BT. BT had a sense of duty. He relied on his sense of duty. He became so ambitious to the extent that he thought he can be a leader of his political party to advance his political careers. He wanted to be president of the party, president of the country. And Rukutaura inini panaba. Dai Tendai asina kufoma PDP. Pakashaika Mdara Changirai, Tendai was the ideal candidate to become president of MDC. But now, vanhu vanga vakutarisa allegiance. Vanhu takanga taakufollowa kuti munhu akanga anesu kubva pekutanga kusvika kumagumo ndiani. Kwakangobuda Nelson Chamisa, and he became the president. No matter kuti vana komichi vakatanga kufamba neusiku vachiroya Chamisa, but zvakashaya basa. Nanhasi kana pakanzi pari kulidwa upanzi batanai mite one political party choose a president, Chamisa wacho unongowina chete. Whether you hate him or love him, he will still come victorious. And it's more. Saka trukutaura varume kushata kwe politics. So one way is to try and improve the knowledge and the character of political leaders. So what I'm saying is one way we can win our wondo, we will need to improve the knowledge and the character of political leaders, the knowledge and the character of their followers, people who follow Zanu PF. We need, if they listen to this video or this presentation, they will understand the reasons why I made this. Is to try and improve their knowledge of democracy, try and improve their knowledge of government, so that when they go into an election, they are not forced to vote for Zanu PF because you are a Zanu PF supporter. Vote for policies. Vote for a political party with a manifesto that suits you. Kwene kuvotera ngechidhina chiro chakangobhekwa kune uku chinongopushwa chichienda chese chidhina. Ayo beduka andidika ramba kuvotera zvinhu zvakaora, ramba kuvotera zvinhu zvisina democracy, votera zvinhu zvinoimprove nyika, because uri kutochembera life won't come back. Pandakatanga MDC, I think I was 20 something years old, handisina musoro wakachena kudai, but look ndakura. You understand? Inewe wakura, newachari kuvhotera Zanu PF asina future, wakura. Unotaura kuti political party iri kutonga sauna chaunacho, uri kuramba uchingovhotera ipapo. Uri kuvhotera chii chauri kuvhotera? Anditi more. So the other and the more realistic way is to set up a system where political leaders are rewarded for saving the people and punished for not doing so. Ukatasa political system iripo right now. Tinema members of parliament varimu triple C, we never elected, who were imposed by Shabam. But we don't have a realistic way of punishing those people. They're benefiting from what we sweated for. We did not sweat to employ them. We sweated for them to represent us in parliament. Our candidates, our people we elected were removed. We did nothing. Because there is no realistic way of dealing with them. Today we are crying. To represent on parliament, nevanhu vasikatomboziva kuti kunovoterwa, and some who lost elections. Hapana chinhu chinorwadza saizvozvo. So this is a bit like the way market works. Even if a shopkeeper is interested only in his profit, he is forced to give good service to the customers. So it's like we need good service from our members of parliament. Chavarongoda chati imari dzekudya nekupuwa motikari nekuita sei. Andimona. Saka murikuona kutaura chiti elections are held in all constituencies at the same time. Takazviita izvozvo. Either on the same day or within a few days. This is called a general election. We have held a general election for ages and ages. Takaita by election for ages and ages. But what did we benefit? What did we bring that we can stand and say our system of election delivered this? Our system of election delivered that, we still have nothing. The country is still suffering. Why can't we rectify the way our politics or the way our elections are held in our country? We've got electoral constituencies. We have them. We have got voters list, voters roll. We have it. Apana chatisina. My nominated candidates or my nominations are no itwa. We do the same. My election campaigns, no panenyaya. Yokuti vamwe vanovhumirwa campaign, vamwe vatovhumirwa campaign. Vamwe vanotora mabhazi enyika kutenderedza pasi rese 500 buses dzichingotakura vanhu kuenda nawo kwese kwaanoenda. Zvinofanirwa zvisingabvumirwe nemutemo. Pulling and counting of votes, you know how it happens. It does not reflect that we are a democratic country. So these are the things that we must adopt even in opposition. Kutiratidze kuti political party iri open kuvanhu. One, ngative ma-electoral constituencies edu atoziva. Kuti kana tine 210 ma-electoral constituencies, we are going to participate in all those 210. Ngatichiita a system. Kana tichida kuita a political party iri strong. Makombuta tinawo, ngatichiita a system yekuregister our own opposition party members, so that when we go for candidate selection, we know we have got fully affiliated members who must elect a candidate. Boje kungoti bamba zonge zvika tiri kuisirwa macandidates mamwe eZanu PF nevanhu veZanu. Andimona ngatitei an electoral system iri clear yekuziva kuti taane vanhu vedu ava ndivo vachaelecta candidate yedu. Andimona nomination yemacandidates ngaiitwe nemaconstituencies acho. Ndakafarira yakaitwa kwaRare East. Dai pakanzi secretly paper itendaiwina. But pakanzi bereka mwana. Kana kuMalawi vanoshandisa bereka mwana. Yakachemedza mukweshwa. Yaifungwa kuti iri politically connected. Yakawa negotsi kuti D. Wakamona kana tsuro ichirwa stonyeni. Yapedza inoti D negotsi. Ndokuwa kwakaita umwe wakuru negotsi kuti DZ. Those are politics. Anditi maona. Saka zvakawanda, ladies and gentlemen, zvadoti tikataura, especially tikaenda kuma-electoral constituencies zedu. Zimbabwe is divided into 210 constituencies. Hapana asingazvizivi. There means, this means, these are called electoral constituencies 210. Saka pa 210 ipapo, each parliamentary constituency has within its several assembly, each parliamentary constituency, within it in my districts I now. My districts are not responsible. Kuti ukaenda kuMash West, munenge mune parliamentary constituencies arimo Mash West. Anenge ane ma districts acho, Chegutu district, Zvimba district, Karoi district, Chinoi district, Kupi neKupi. My districts are not responsible for selection of candidates. Andimona. Saka ukaenda kumawayo, ukaenda kunenge kwane mawards wofuti atinenge tinawo ekuziva kuti kucancel tine mawards akaita sei and so forth. Ngatisave netendency yekuita ma-reserved constituencies, because iwayo ndo anozopinda madzakutsaku, anozotinetsa mangwana. Andimona. Saka sevana veZimbabwe tinofanirwa kuunderstand why we need elections munyika medu. The most important thing chokuti election ifambe zvosvika pakunzi democratic is the voters list, the voters roll. Zvakawanda zvinoitika kuti once the constitutions are decided, the next step is to decide who can and who cannot vote. That must be decided. Kana uri muconstituency unonovhotera uku. So in a democratic election, ladies and gentlemen, the list of those who are eligible to vote is prepared much before the election and given to everyone. Ndoshamisika muZimbabwe kuti tobvisa tax isusu. Kana wakuda voters rolls bhadhara mari 300 watt kuti uwane voters roll. That should not be it. That voters roll must be accessed to everyone. Anorida. Kana nini ndikati ndirikumba kwangu ndonyorera government kuda voters roll, they must give me the voters roll. And that must be given for free. So this list is officially the electoral roll. Electoral roll, and is commonly known as a voters roll. That voters roll must be accessed by anyone. No voters roll munenge mune vanhu. Ashina basa kuti hanzi confidential what. There's nothing confidential once you go on a voters roll. Nothing is confidential. Your address is there, your phone number is there, everything is there. Nothing confidential there. And it more. Saka, tine dambudziko rekuti tine criminals vane unsound mind vari muZanu PF ndo vanenge vakuita deny kuti voters roll ipiwe macandidates ipiwewo vanhu vanoda kuona kuti varimo here. We have got people with this criminal mind, with this unsound mind in Zanu PF. Saka, every 5 years, there must be compilation of a new voters roll. Every 5 years, banenge bachi register ma new individuals, ma new voters vanenge vachipinda mu voters roll imomo. Saka, tirikutaura kuti zvakutisekesa nedzimwe nyika. Kuti isusu tinenge tisingazivewo kuti why we need elections in Zimbabwe. Because ukaenda kuma election campaigns, ndo paunomirawo. Ndo panofa zvinhu zvese. Kuti why do we hold those election campaigns? Zanu PF must understand. Ndo ine dambudziko isingabvumire mama political parties munyika kuti vaite sei, vaite campaign. To give people a chance to choose the representatives, the government, and the policies they prefer. This is why we go and campaign. We go and campaign to give people a chance to choose, to prefer a candidate of their choice. We can do that a month before or even 6 months before. We can go for campaigns. Kuti vanhu vachoose. We go and sell ourselves to the people. Zanu PF must know that we don't just go there for a joke. We go and sell our candidates. We go and sell ourselves. We want to be in contact with our voters. We want to be in contact with voters. Want to be in contact with their political leaders. We want to address our voters. We want to address them why we want them to vote us. We hold my meetings, my political meetings, my political rallies. We mobilize our supporters. So the rule that for a political party to mobilize its supporters or to be in contact with its voters, it needs to apply to the police for security. That must be cancelled. Because Patrioenda who says MDC or Triple C or whoever, there is no one who should come and destabilize us. So we don't need police protection because we are people of the same political party. Ungana tukutaura zvepolitics zedu. Ukaona pakuya kutataka, that means asiri wedu. And chainga ipapo ndo chinoshaika ndochi. Jack, say they will infiltrate us again. Vanaponela will come to join us. They do their distract. I think we must, as a security officer for the part, I think I need to draft something that can block infiltration. I can do that. I can do that. As the person in opposition, they are pretending as if they are with us. We only realize when they refuse to listen to President Nelson Chamisa, kuti mabora ngoma ndo chokwadi. Saka urikuona zvatiri kutaura ndezvekuti Zanu PF inofana kunzwisisa kuti opposition party kana yakuenda kunokambena, it wants to come in contact with its voters. It wants its political leaders to address election meetings and political mobilization. Support and demon. My newspapers ngaite basa rao. Herald is for the nation. It's not for Zanu PF. You will never see my political rallies Herald about opposition. But Herald yaku act as a mouthpiece of a political party. Zanu PF inofana kuvhura ma papers ayo triple C inofana kudistributawo kuprinta manewspaper avo vachitengesa, but national newspaper must stand for both political parties, not for one political party. Sezvatinoona. TV must stand for all political parties, not for one political party. News kana dzichitaurwa in full, kana vachitaura zvakashata zvetriple C, ngavataure zvakashata zvezano. Kwete ngoramba vachingotaura kuti triple C yakaipa, but we are listening from national broadcasts. Iri financed nemari dzeopposition members too. Andiona. Kasakana takutarisa isusu, ndo ndakambopropose pa ndikati, Vamunangagwa, he is the candidate for Zanu PF. Why can't he come and debate with Nelson Chamisa pa national TV? Tichinzwa kuti uyu ari kuofa chi, uyu ari kupa chi. Vakazviramba vanhu vezano. Saka they don't understand why Zimbabwe want elections. Because chirepo apa nchekutaura kuti vanenge vakuona kuti one, maslogan avo ekuzanu PF adhakwa. Isusu tiri kupinda as a new blood, tine maslogan mambishi. Saka political party inonzi Zanu PF ikamira kukondesana Chamisa inotanga kuroverwa paslogan. Ndopa inotanga kubhogorwa kunzi Zanu yarowa pasi. Zanu yarowa pasi pamaslogans ezano akadhakwa. Ndana pasina ningi, pasina ningi. Wabvunza zvoreve kuurayana. Anditi vaona. Saka tiri kutaura zvakawanda zvekuti even kana kuconsider ma-electoral laws kuti zvinhu zvinofana kuitwa nema-electoral laws. Chimwe chinhu chinofana kubanwa kuti nzvimbo dzekunamatira Zanu PF ngaisaenda kunoita Zanu PF kana Mnangagwa ari a political party candidate, he must not go to any place of worship for electoral propaganda. Zvamunoona achienda kumapostori, that is 100% wrong. Mnangagwa is wrong. Mustn't be there kumapostori kuyako. It's a place of worship. Usaita kuti venge mapostori ekwaMarange. Izvo zvikurupa wamotikari mapostori ekwaMarange havana kana chavari kupiwa. But ndo vanhu kwaenda Mnangagwa ikoko. That was wrong in the first place. That must be banned. No political party must go and spread propaganda to a place of worship. No political party in Zimbabwe must use government vehicles, must use aircraft yenyika, must use government official for elections. No. That's wrong. Ndosaka muri kuona Zanu PF feels entitlement or entitled to the country because they use government vehicles, they use mabhazi ehurumende, they use ndege dzehurumende vachitakura macandidates avo vachienda nawo kunocampaigna vachispread the propaganda. Andinoona. Saka zvakawanda zvimwe zvinofanirwa kuve zvaari like code of conduct ema-elections kuti vatenderere mberi zvakanaka. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not going to continue saying this, but I've spoken about the need for elections. I've spoken about what is a government. I'm trying to help Muhammad Zedu Zirim Zanu PF. Could they understand that the politics is hondo, but it's a battle to choose who to govern you. And then on. Saka regaindisire ipapo tozotaura. I think mangwana tinenge tine new topic. Can representatives selected on the basis of age and experience? Then we continue from there. Good night. Tirigora vagoma.